We got stressed cause we're striving, surviving, keep on moving to improving, rearranging. The whole world's changing, pandemic, systemic, rule making, rule breaking, disagreeing, no, we're fighting or fleeing. Got a mind.
And the stress divides me.
The stress. So going over some of the symptoms of a panic attack,
Mhm.
we got shortness of breath or hyperventilation, chest pain or discomfort. You know, some people will
Mhm.
think that they're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
If you've never had, I've never had a heart attack, so I don't know what that feels like.
Mhm.
So if I have chest pain, I'm going to naturally think it might be a heart attack.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if I'm,
Right here.
even if I'm not having a heart attack, I'm going to be pretty anxious about that feeling, and it's my worrying about it is going to make it worse.
Yes.
Trembling or shaking, choking feeling, feeling sort of unreal or detached, sweating, nausea, upset stomach, dizziness, lightheadedness, numbness or tingling, hot or cold flashes, fear of dying and losing control, or fear of just going crazy. So those are some symptoms that come up
Mhm.
that may be signaling panic attack.
Right. So we obviously, when we experience those kinds of feelings, we're trying to find comfort, as quickly as we can. Let's get out of this. And as you mentioned, leads to the emergency room or to the physician, which is good. I mean, you go get an objective evaluation, and then it feels funny when they say, well, no, there's nothing wrong with your heart. We think this is anxiety. And, people sometimes feel insulted by that. It's like, oh, you mean it's all in my head? Everything's in our head. So
Yeah.
it doesn't.
all the chemicals that are going through your brain are in your head, and they're creating a sensation throughout your body.
It's not crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Our brains respond by producing what the brain predicts is going to be needed to deal with the situation. So if a person is walking around with a high level of tension and anxiety anyhow, and you add an additional stressor, it can kind of take it over the top a little bit, and so then you get this sensation of tightness, and now we have an awareness of how we feel and a feedback loop.
Yeah. And we've talked about the gap between the trigger, and the feeling and the response to that, and then there's also the thinking. So, and we've talked about when we get this really uncomfortable feeling, our brain is trying to interpret what that means.
Mhm.
Does that mean danger? Does that mean heart attack? And it doesn't know. It doesn't know the answer, because you can't diagnose your own self and do the tests on yourself,
Right.
unless you were at the hospital to find out if there's some kind of problem with your heart or you're having a heart attack. You just know it feels bad. So
Mhm.
but the ability to predict what's happening helps us when, in the case of a car coming, if I predict that if I stay in the street,
I
I'm
get
going
run
to get
over.
hit by the car,
Mhm.
that helps me decide to get out of the way. And so the ability to predict sometimes is wrong. We're not having a heart attack. It just feels really uncomfortable, and our mind is trying to figure that out.